The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense latest intelligence update on Ukraine, November 4, 2023. Over the past 3 weeks, Russia has likely lost around 200 armored vehicles during assaults on the Donbas town of Avdiivka. This is due to the effectiveness of Ukraine's anti-armor weapons, mines, drones, and artillery. In response, Russian forces have switched to dismounted infantry assaults in this sector. Ukrainian forces faced similar challenges as the attacker over the summer. Like previous offensives, the Avdiivka assaults have often involved advances across open ground, leading to high Russian losses. Russia may have suffered thousands of casualties around Avdiivka since early October. Russia's leadership continues to demonstrate a willingness to accept heavy casualties for marginal territorial gains. The Institute for the Study of War Russian Offensive Campaign Assessment. Zelensky emphasized the war is not a stalemate despite the positional nature of the fighting, pushing back against sentiments that the war has reached a deadlock. Zelensky stated Ukraine prioritizes the safety of its troops and needs more Western weapons like F-16s and air defenses to gain an advantage. He recalled that many prematurely called the 2022 fighting a stalemate before successful Ukrainian counteroffensives in Kharkiv and Kherson. Zelensky said Russia will not stop at current occupied territories, so Ukraine cannot consider surrendering. His comments mirror Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Zaluzhnyi's essay, arguing Ukraine can win a positional war with the right tactics and Western weapons. The Institute for the Study of War assessment is that Russia's war effort is slowing, but Putin still intends conquests beyond current lines. Ukraine believes it can make progress with more Western military aid. The Institute for the Study of War key takeaways today. Russia allegedly used claims of Syria supplying Hezbollah to subsume Wagner forces in Syria and seize their air defenses. Zaluzhnyi's essay outlines changes Ukraine must make to overcome the positional stage of the war. Zelensky denied reports Western officials want Ukraine to discuss peace negotiations. The United States sees no sign Putin wants to negotiate or doubts Russia's ability to continue the war. Russia conducted missile and drone strikes across Ukraine on November 3rd to 4th. Ukraine continued offensive operations near Bakhmut and western Zaporizhia. The Kremlin dismissed the head of TASS news agency for failing to align with state narratives on Wagner. Russia is testing e-voting likely to manipulate 2024 election for Putin. Russia continued offensive operations along the Kupiansk-Kreminna line, around Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Vuhledar, and in Donetsk and Zaporizhia. At least 35,780 Russian soldiers have died in Ukraine as of November 3rd. Russia continues efforts to settle citizens in occupied Ukraine. Ukraine's Armed Forces General Staff Update. Day 619 of Russia's attempted full-scale invasion of Ukraine continues. There were 71 combat engagements. Russia launched 6 missile strikes, 18 air strikes, and 33 multiple launch rocket system attacks. Civilian areas were hit. Fighting remains active in the east and south. No major changes on other axes. Russia maintains military presence near Ukraine's borders, continues reconnaissance and shelling from Russia. Russia made unsuccessful assault attempts near several towns in Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts. All were repelled by Ukraine. Russia conducted air and ground assaults near Marinka and Novomykhailivka, Donetsk Oblast. All 15 attacks were repelled. Ukraine continues offensive operations near Melitopol and Bakhmut, inflicting losses on Russia. Ukraine launched 3 airstrikes on Russian targets, and missile troops hit 1 Russian artillery system. Ukraine Matters Update. General Zaluzhnyi gave an important interview to The Economist and wrote an article outlining the current state of the war in Ukraine. Zaluzhnyi admits he underestimated Russia's willingness to sustain massive losses, with 150,000 dead soldiers. By NATO calculations, Ukraine should have reached Crimea already. This is a new type of warfare that cannot be defeated with Ukraine's current resources. Ukraine needs a technological breakthrough on multiple fronts, not just one technology. Zaluzhnyi outlines 5 key areas Ukraine needs to improve: gaining air superiority, improving mine-breaching capabilities, increasing counterbattery fire effectiveness, building necessary reserves, and advancing electronic warfare. Ukraine has achieved parity with Russia in artillery and electronic warfare, but Russia maintains air superiority, complicating troop advances. Ukraine had a pitiful air force at the start of the war. Drones and swarm tactics are critical for gaining air superiority. The dense minefields laid by Russia were unexpected, and Ukraine's breaching capabilities are limited. New technologies and tactics for demining are needed. Zaluzhnyi wants more drones, anti-drone weapons, GPS jammers, radar jammers, and other electronic warfare capabilities, as well as better training facilities and logistics. If the West provides these advanced technologies, it shows their aim is Ukraine's victory over Russia. Just sending basic weapons indicates an aim of not letting Ukraine lose. Zaluzhnyi has outlined a clear plan and requirements for Ukraine to gain a decisive breakthrough. With Western support, Ukraine can achieve victory.